Hi everyone and welcome to another video on the Panasonic autofocus. Now this may be the last one unless something really dramatically changes. I've made this video because of a video that Photo Joseph and Max Jervik, I think his name is, made last night. And I would like to thank you guys for making this video, and making the videos that you did. I will tell you now, I have tried the settings and they seem a lot better. It's not perfect, but it's a lot better, and hopefully you guys that watch this video now are gonna sort of like think, oh wow, that's definitely better. It's not perfect, but bearing in mind it is a contrast detection system, so it's never going to be perfect, but I'll tell you what, it's not half bad. So basically for now, I have run a test by the recommended settings from Max and Photo Joseph and actually Panasonic are to shoot at 60p or 30p. So I'm now in 4K 60p. My shutter speed is at a 60th of a second at f2.8 at auto ISO. I will be quite high on ISO, maybe 800, 1000, it's pretty dark here. So you will see that in this video, I've just given you the settings. I have got the AF custom settings disabled, they're turned off, because Max and Photo Joseph both found out that 98% of the time it worked better with them off, which that sort of tells you, doesn't it, that there could be a problem with them and they maybe need tweaking. And I genuinely believe that. I believe if they tweak them settings in firmware and make them a little better, I think they'll actually help. Because I find out that when you put the 70 to 200 on, which 35 to 100 obviously, but it's 70 to 200 on a Micro Four Thirds, I find out that the focus is a bit slower, but once it grabs on, like for a talking head shot, it tends to hold on really well. Let me just see if I can hide this camera just a touch more. Go up a little bit more. Yeah. I find out that once it locks on, it stays locked on with these new settings, but it's just that when you're walking backwards and forwards, I'll just give that camera a little turn as well. Sorry guys, I just want to be able to walk back. I find out when you're walking backwards and forwards with the 70 to 200, because it's shifting a lot more glass inside, it does, it just takes longer to lock on, and you won't be able to track a shot as default with these settings. But once it's locked on, you'll see in a minute it's fine. So at the minute we're at 12 to 35, we're locked out at 35mm, 60th of a second. I have tried it at double the shutter speed and it didn't really, I thought the focus was slightly better, but I will show you a test with that. So what we'll do is, well, no further ado, we've got the new settings on, we're in face tracking and we're sort of walking away from the camera. We're at 35mm. Just to say it again, custom settings off, f2.8, 60th of a second. Yes, I am breaking the rule, it should be at 1/125th, but I'm trying to keep the ISO down on the camera. So as you would have saw, and I've watched two versions of the video now, you should see that it's kept its focus near as goddammit anyway. I'll come in nice and close for a nice good, we'll go in the middle of the frame. I did half press the shutter, so I'll just do it now. I'm going to touch the camera, I'll come in a bit closer and I'll half press. Right, so we're now, I didn't know how long that we're recording, but I've now pressed the shutter button again and got it to focus again. Same settings, not changed anything. So it seems quite important that when you want it to lock onto something, it's nice to press the shutter button first, because now it seems to like know that it's me locking on to it, that it wants me to lock, that I want it to lock onto. But to be fair, it should know that anyway, because there's only me in bloody scene. But anyway, that's beside the point. It's still working, and you know, that's great stuff. I'll back up a bit more. Right, and I'm not going to go on here forever now. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to come nice and close and just say hello. I'm going to double the shutter speed just for anybody wondering. Obviously the ISO, it's in auto, so it's going to go up now. And I'll just sort of go back again. Obviously the ISO will have gone up now. I don't know what it is. Panasonic, can you please display the ISO on the screen even in auto so we can see what it is? I know it's in auto. You see, again, my screen's nice and bright on my camera. See, I don't know if speeding up the shutter does make a bit of maybe a touch of a difference. I don't know. Anyway, so this is 1/125th. And the 12 to 35, and we're at 35mm, and I think you'll agree that this now should have made a difference on the autofocus. It won't look awful like it did the other day. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to run the same test again, but I'm going to put the 35 to 100 on, and what you will notice immediately, oh no, sorry, what I'll do is I'll take it off face detection now, because also what we got recommended was Group AF. The custom where you can select the focus points and then you can put them where you want, and we'll just see if that's any better than face detection. Right guys, so basically what we've done now is I've just selected the group of focus points in the middle on the custom multi, and I've put it round the 3/4 of the top of my head. I can't put it fully round because it doesn't fully reach. When I expanded them, I couldn't get it. It's sort of like a diamond. But let's just see what that's like, see if it follows me any quicker. I thought face detection worked quite well here with the custom auto AF settings off, which Max also found, and Photo Joseph found that as well. So I'll just walk in again. So this is no longer face detection, it's custom multi. So you will find out if I go like this, the camera will jump, but then if I come back in, it should grab, which it did. So again, I'm still at 1/125th now, so ISO will be up a little bit. I do apologise, but we'll just leave it at that for the rest of the video, but you can put it at a 60th. It didn't really make a difference to the, I don't think it did. I'll tell you what, we'll do that same test again and we'll half the shutter speed. So I'll walk back again and we'll just make sure. I'm not going to mess about with it anymore for the rest of the video, I don't think. So all that's changed now is the shutter speed. It's at the same as the frame rate, 60th of a second. It's just not double what it's meant to be. Yeah, so there you go. We're at 60th of a second now to see if it's any quicker. Now I'll swap the lenses. We'll have a look at that, but I will tell you now, I've already done it once and it's a massive difference. It's actually very, very usable. It's not perfect though, but I think with a firmware update as well and a little tweak there. And I think what I don't like is how you always have to press the shutter button because it's autofocus. You shouldn't have to, it should know that I'm in the scene now and not really need me to press the shutter. But do you know what? Who cares, really? As long as it's improved and better, it's not going to kill you, is it? End of the day, nothing's perfect. Right, let's swap lenses. So we're not fully at 100mm, which would be 200mm. I'd say we're at about 140mm. And we've got custom multi on around this area. There, it's just, yeah, it is. It's a power saving mode of it. Right, it's a custom multi around around the top of my eye. So we'll walk back a bit with this. Now I will tell you, this is the one where I reckon the AF speed, nothing else, just the speed of it could do with just being turned up a bit because it's got a lot more glass to move. But I'll stay still and we'll just, as if we're doing a talking head shot, and you'll find out that what I saw earlier on with these new settings from Max and Photo Joseph and Panasonic, it pretty much held at 90%. I'd be happy to use autofocus and do a tight talking head shot, even bride and groom. I don't know how much it'd get on with another person here, to be fair, but I mean, you know, I'm on about for a talking head shot. I mean, I will go a bit further back. And I found out that it was just a little bit slow. Don't forget, we're still in custom multi. We're going to go to face detection in a minute. I'll just walk in now and we'll come in and we'll just stop about here. And yes, I personally think that the custom multi, speeding up the autofocus a touch would work, but I find out as soon as you enable at all them two stupid settings, you struggle to get anything. This is better, even though it's not perfect. It's still a lot better. Panasonic, get it fixed. Get it fixed so that those two settings actually do something. Just make them a lot less responsive, because this is near enough good enough at the minute. So if you tweak it just so it can speed it up a little bit, or do it in your firmware so it can recognise that I've got a 70 to 200, well 35 to 100, but you should be able to do that in firmware and it should automatically maybe speed up a touch, save customers having to piss about with it. Not that I mind messing, but you know, some people do. I'll go a bit closer now. So we're quite close now. I'd say we're at about 140mm. That would be 35 to 100, probably about 70mm on the lens. but it is a nice tight shot. We're at 60th of a second, f2.8 custom multi. So we'll just finish this off now. We'll go right into 200. Oh, well, 100 as we see. I'll go somewhere it's going to focus. See, it's just lost it now, but let's just give it a chance to come in now. So that looks nice and sharp. We're at fully maxed in. We're in a low light situation. So what I'll do now is I'll just sort of back up. This is where I found out it was a little bit slow. If this were I mean, I'm walking pretty slow as well. I'm not actually going that quick. So if that was a bride coming down aisle, she'd definitely be blurred, unless you put your hand out and told her to walk slow. So yeah, I'll just walk in now. I'll just walk in, and I'll stop. But when you stop, it's a couple of seconds after and it's got it. And we'll just talk for talking headshot here for a little bit. And what I'll do is, I forgot to do it at the last focal length, but we'll do it at 200. I'll go knock it now to face detection. So again, we'll just go one more time. Although I am still, my head's still 3/4 of the way at the top, so it should pretty much be doing a good job. We're walking a bit quicker now. This is not nice. This is like trying to show the autofocus up, but again, this is where the custom setting, not now at minute, it don't flipping work, it's crap. Turning the speed up a touch, I think would help that, make it 50% better. Or, like say, customise it in firmware Panasonic. So let's now put it in face detection. Right, I've managed to do it. I came full arm's length out and really stretched, and I've managed to get it to focus on me as Panasonic recommended. And now I think you'll find out that it'll probably all focus better. Now, hang on before you start jumping on that method and saying, well, isn't that shit? Well, not really, because usually you'd be behind your camera when you're videoing the action, so it won't be an issue. But obviously I'm doing a talking head shot, so it is a little bit harder for me. But really, I should have had my iPad and had it wirelessly, and I could have just done it on my iPad. But I'm trying to just test the autofocus. So again, we'll walk backwards, and you'll find out that now pressing that shutter button, it does work. I mean, did you see it lose me then, but how quick it came back in? We'll just go a bit further back. Yeah, I'm going to have to get used to that power saving mode there, making the brightness on that screen go darker. And you can see now that we did that, you'll see that it was a lot better. I mean, I'll try go a bit closer, but if you go too close, it's just going to hunt. It's not going to get focus now because it physically can't. So I'll have to go somewhere like this where it's going to get its focus. So yeah, I'm on face detection. I'm at 60th. Am I at 60th? No, I'm at 80th, look. Right, I'm at 60th of a second. And you can see it lost it. But I mean, all cameras do that when you're shooting telephoto anyway. But it's grabbed it now, and you should find out that it should look great. So I'd like to thank Max and Photo Joseph and also Panasonic. And I do know that they are on it now as well, so they'll make it even better than it actually is. But it's definitely better, I'm not going to lie to you. It's definitely better than it was. It's not perfect, but with 12 to 35 on it was really good. But with a big 35 to 100, it's not quite as good for tracking and moving, but actually stood here, I think you'll find out this is a really tight shot. I'm at 200mm, 100mm, 200 micro four thirds, and I bet you'll find out that it hasn't lost focus on me yet. It's only if I start moving. I mean, if I just do a little walk, I'll go right back to what? I'll go right back to settee, and then once it's focused now, a couple of seconds, like I say in a firmware update, I reckon we could speed that up. Now, I would be tempted to go into the custom settings and just turn the AF speed up maybe 1 or 2 and see if that works, and leave the bottom one alone. In fact, we will do that for the end of the video, but in fact, I'm just going to turn on the custom settings and leave them at 0 and see if it affects the autofocus. Right. So basically, what I've done now is, sorry, my camera's rocking like out on tripod. All I've done is enable the custom menu, still on face tracking, still at 200mm. I've enabled the custom menu, but I've not touched it. I just want to see if it's still keeping me tracking right nice at 200mm. And it does seem to be doing that. And I'm just going to try turn the AF speed up 1 point, just to see if it can just track me a little bit better. but I don't want to touch that bottom one. I think it's that bottom slider that's making it go to shit. Because now if you see, I'll just come back and it's banged into focus. Right, so what I've done is I've changed the AF speed to just the top setting to +2 to just see if I can get, I've not taken the bottom one, I'm not bothered about. I just want us to see if it can stay with me a little bit longer as I'm walking. Only in the telephoto mode. I think it turned off. In 12 to 35 worked fantastic, turned off. And let's just see now if it just seems to be a little bit more responsive when I'm walking backwards. I mean, I do believe that that's all the top setting does, just to be a little bit more responsive. I'll let it catch up. We'll just walk up and we'll just see if it, and I think it is, definitely seems more responsive for the telephoto lens. So we're going to turn it up another one now. I might turn it up 2 points. So all we're doing is the speed. I'm not bothered about that bottom one. That seems to just make everything pulse and go to crap. So let's turn the AF speed up. See, then how it took a bit to hang. Right, so basically, I'll just let it calm down. I've got the AF speed up to +4. The top setting up to +4. So I'm hoping now that when I walk backwards, but we might find out now. This is just a guess. We might find out now. I'll just walk back again. It should, in theory, be better. And don't forget, we're still at 200mm now, so you know we're really pushing up the speed. I'll just come back a bit more. I can't come back anymore. Now it might be pulsing as well. I can't see, but if that's the case, my recommendations would be to leave the custom settings off all the time and just deal with it. But I mean, I would hope now that the AF speed is, and I'm looking at the screen and it does look better, but I don't know if it's fully keeping up with me. But as I stopped walking, I was in focus straight away. It looked like I was, whereas before we got a little hang. I'll tell you what, I'll turn it up maxed. I'm not going to mess with that bottom slider though, because I just I don't think that works great. In fact, I'm going to zoom out a little bit because 200mm is very challenging. We'll go to 35 and we'll sort of go in between. Let's just see now if that, because now we're not quite at 200. Let's see if turning that AF speed up has improved this as well. It's probably a better focal length to try. So all we did now is only with the 35 to 100 would I use this, but that depends on what it looks like when I get onto PC. But I'll tell you what, it definitely seems great. It definitely seems better. We will turn it up full. Right, okay, so we've now got it maxed out to +5. I'll just let the camera stop tinging. We'll just check that we're not getting any pulsing. And this is looking to me like a better setting to use for tracking when you're shooting telephoto. I'm only going quite slow here as well, to be fair. I mean, and to be fair, it would make sense that you would have to speed it up on a telephoto lens for anybody. I'll just walk a bit quicker now and we'll stop. It's definitely quicker, but I don't know whether it's hunting a bit more now. But there you go. I just thought I'd try that for price of eggs. I didn't try that this morning, but I just thought that I would try it to see if it'll enhance the focus. Don't forget, we're still on face detection, and at the minute we've got the AF speed turned up to 5. But again, I will say it one more time, only recommended, or maybe, I've got to look at it on PC first, would be for a telephoto lens, or I've also got a 25-1.7 cheaper lens, and that could be a better setting for that because it's a bit slower at focus. So, but I don't know, we'll just quickly bang it for one more little test. I'll bang that custom setting off again and I'll walk backwards and forwards and let's see if that custom setting, only on the speed only, not the bottom one, and we'll see if it actually did do, or did it make it start jumping all over the place, because I couldn't see on the screen. All I could see is that I did look a little bit sharper than with it off. Right, so we've got that menu turned off now. Basically the custom menu, we're still at the same focal length, about 150mm, about 70mm on the 35 to 100. So we'll just walk back up again, and I can clearly see straight away, looking at the screen, that I was blurred for a longer time, so hopefully that AF speed was better. And we'll just walk up here. I mean, that ain't too bad. It's not bad. I like the way when you stop it pulls into focus nice and smooth. But I just didn't like walking. I just looked like a blur. Even if you was in focus but not tack focus, you'd get away with that with a bride coming down aisle at a widest shot. You'd get away with it not being perfect but focused. Whereas if she was blurred, you wouldn't get away with her walking down aisle blurred. And that's where I thought that custom setting were a lot better. One more time, we'll just walk in and we're going to stop near carpet. And in it goes. I'm sorry, but I have just quickly turned the menu back on with the AF speed turned up just to refresh quickly. Let's just go back. This is the custom menu on now with just the speed turned up to full because it's a telephoto lens. And I am staying in focus longer, I can clearly see it. But let's see if it's something. If so, it might want to be on 2 or 3. Thanks for watching. Please comment and subscribe. And I would like to say to Photo Joseph and Max again, thanks very much, guys. I'll thank myself and all because I do videos. But I mean, I'll thank you guys because you seem to give us a set of settings that are working a lot better. They're not perfect and there's room for improvement, but bearing in mind it is a contrast detection system, so it's never going to be perfect. It'll never be like the 80D or out like that. I know a couple of people keep saying get Canon, but I don't like the image quality that comes off the Canon. I used to use 70Ds and I thought when I looked at a GH4 it was chalk and cheese difference on the quality of the footage, even the ISO to be fair. But it was just chalk and cheese, and I like all the settings that you get on these Panasonic cameras, and hopefully now hopefully Panasonic are on the AF and I think they'll make it better. They won't make it perfect, but I think they'll make it a lot better and all will be cool. Thanks for watching. Please comment and subscribe.